5 factory settings on your K2 Silverado are quietly working against the engine on every single drive. GM turned all 5 on before the truck left the factory. None of them have a warning light. No any of them feel wrong from the driver's seat, and not one of them appears in the owner's manual under anything that would tell you why it is a problem. 2 are completely invisible while they are happening. 1 is a safety issue that only reveals itself when you are towing on a grade. And every single one has a repair bill attached that owners only discover after the fact. The settings covered before the AFM system, the oil life monitor, auto start-stop are separate. These 5 are specific to the K2 platform, and most owners who find them do so late. Let's get into it. Setting 5. The cylinder mode display buried in your dig. There is a display page sitting inside your driver information center right now showing you exactly what your AFM system is doing in real time. It shows whether your engine is running on 8 cylinders or 4. It updates every second while you drive, and it has been there since the day the truck was built. Most owners find it for the first time after someone in a forum tells them where to look. Some have owned their truck for 6 or 7 years. Some are already past 100,000 miles. And the reaction when they finally enable it is almost always the same. They take the truck on the highway at normal cruise speed, light throttle, 60 miles an hour, and they watch the display flip between V8 mode and V4 mode continuously. No T occasionally. Continuously, one owner described watching the display switch 43 times in a single 15-mile highway stretch. Another described it as watching the engine silently destroying itself while everything from the driver's seat felt completely normal. Because what that display shows you is not occasional cylinder deactivation. On a light throttle highway commute, the AFM system can hold the engine in V4 mode for extended stretches, meaning the collapsible lifters inside those 4 cylinders are compressing and locking, then expanding and releasing hundreds of times before you reach the exit ramp. Each one of those transitions is a mechanical stress event. Each one contributes to wear on components that cost $3,000 to $7,000 to replace when they fail. To enable the display, navigate to your info pages in the deck using the thumb wheel on your turn signal lever. Scroll to the engine or powertrain display options and turn on the cylinder mode page. On your next highway drive, watch it with the cruise set at 60. What you see will be the most useful information you have gotten about what is actually happening inside your engine. Once you see it, the range AFM disabler starts making obvious sense. $60. Plugs into the OBD2 port under the dash. Tells the engine control module to stay in V8 mode at all times. Remove it before any dealer visit and there is no trace. The display makes the invisible visible. What you see on that first drive will tell you whether $60 is worth spending before the lifters make that decision for you. Owners who install the disabler after seeing the display for the first time consistently say the same thing. They cannot believe they drove that way for years without knowing it was happening. The display does not fix the problem. It just makes it impossible to pretend the problem does not exist. Setting 4. Hill Start Assist fighting your transmission on every towing launch. Have you ever launched on a grade with a trailer behind the truck and felt the drivetrain grab harder than it should? Not violent. Not obviously wrong. Just a lurch heavier than expected. More abrupt than it feels without a trailer. Most owners who notice this assume the transmission is adjusting for the added weight. That assumption is costing them. What is actually happening in that moment is a tug-of-war inside the drivetrain that the truck is not designed to absorb repeatedly. Hill Start Assist holds the brakes engaged for 1.5 seconds when you launch on any grade steeper than 5%. When you are towing boat ramp, job site entrance, driveway on an incline, your engine is simultaneously at or near full torque output to move that combined weight up the grade. The 6L80E transmission is trying to engage the clutch packs under 2 opposing forces at once, the engine pushing forward with full torque and the brake system holding back against it. That compression of the clutch packs between an accelerating engine and a braking system is what owners feel as a lurch. It is also what creates the impact load that accelerates clutch wear. Forum owners on GM trucks documented trucks at under 100,000 miles with clutch pack damage that matched what a shop would expect from a vehicle that had been consistently abused under load and trucks whose owners had service records showing careful maintenance and appropriate towing practices. The shop teardowns showed clutch friction material worn unevenly and a pattern consistent with repeated shock engagement, not gradual wear from normal use. The common factor across those trucks was regular towing on grades with hill start assist active. Every boat ramp, every loading dock approach, every sloped job site entrance. The same shock load repeated over years until the clutch packs wore through. The repair on the 6L80E starts at $3,000 and climbs to $5,000 when the torque converter absorbs secondary damage before the owner catches it. 4 seconds before you hook the trailer up. Hold the traction control button down until the DIC confirms the change. Hill Start Assist goes with it. Re-enable when you unhook. The launch feels different immediately. No lurch, no hesitation, no drivetrain fighting itself against the brake hold. That difference is not just comfort. It is $3,000 of transmission durability per grade, compounded across every tow you make for the rest of the truck's life. The 6L80E in a well-maintained K2 Silverado is a durable unit. What it is not designed for is absorbing an engine versus brakes compression event at full tow load every time you leave a boat ramp. 4 seconds before you hook up eliminates that event entirely. Setting 3. Auto climate running the compressor when the engine does not need it. $800 to $1,400. That is the cost to replace an AFM compressor on a K2 Silverado at a shop. Most owners who face that quote assume the compressor simply wore out. The honest explanation is more specific and more preventable. The auto setting on the K2 climate control runs the AFM compressor as part of its temperature management strategy, even when the outside air does not require cooling. In mild weather spring mornings, fall afternoons. Anything below about 72 degrees where you would naturally drive with the windows cracked auto mode engages the compressor to dehumidify incoming air and stabilize cabin temperature to within a degree of the set point. It feels like the right setting because the cabin is always comfortable. The compressor clutch, however, is making engagements it did not need to make. Over 100,000 miles of mild weather driving with auto active, the clutch accumulates thousands of cycles it would not have accumulated if you had simply set the fan speed manually and left the compressor off. On a K2 Silverado with AFM active, there is a second layer to this problem that almost nobody talks about. The AFM system drops cylinders when the engine is under light load at steady cruise. That is exactly when auto climate is most likely to engage the compressor light throttle, steady speed, cabin temperature creeping slightly above the set point. When that compressor engages, the engine control module detects the additional parasitic draw and commands the engine back to V8 mode to handle it. The compressor cycles every few minutes in mild weather. Each cycle is a V4-to-V8 transition. Each transition is a lifter event. You are adding lifter cycles through the climate control system while thinking you are just keeping the cabin comfortable. And the two systems interacting this way appears nowhere in the owner's manual because GM never documented it. Switch from auto to manual. Set the fan yourself. In mild weather, turn the compressor button off. The unnecessary compressor cycles stop. The AFM transitions they were triggering, stop with them. The truck does not feel any different from the driver's seat. The systems underneath it are working considerably less hard. The AFM compressor that was cycling through mild weather afternoons on a schedule nobody asked for gets to accumulate wear on the cycles it was actually built for. Over 100,000 miles, that is a compressor that lasts versus one that hands you an $800 quote at an inopportune time. Quick pause, hit like and subscribe right now before we get into the last tow. A DIC display showing your engine flipping between V8 mode and V4 mode while you watch it happen for the first time. Hill Start Assist creating a clutch pack versus brake system tug-of-war every time you launch on A grade with a trailer. And an auto climate setting triggering AFM transitions and wearing the compressor clutch without either showing up in any warning the truck gives you. Two more settings, one that mechanics see the results of without ever naming the cause, and the one that is making trailer sway invisible to your hands until it is already too late to correct it smoothly. Let's keep going. Setting 2. StabiliTrak Enhanced mode wearing your brakes on every gravel road. Here is what mechanics see. A K2 Silverado comes in with brake pedal pulsation and steering wheel vibration under normal braking. The rotors show hot spots, uneven patches where brake pad material has transferred to the rotor face and built up into high spots. The shop resurfaces or replaces the rotors and pads. The bill runs $400 to $900. 6 months later, the owner is back with the same complaint. The shop replaces the rotors again. Nobody in that conversation ever mentions StabiliTrak. That is the actual cause. StabiliTrak Enhanced works by comparing individual wheel rotation speeds in real time and applying individual wheel brakes when it detects a difference that indicates instability. On a paved road at speed, that intervention is exactly right. On a gravel road at normal driving speed, the loose surface itself creates differences in wheel rotation on every turn, small stones shifting under each tire. The road surface never perfectly consistent. StabiliTrak Enhanced reads those small differences as instability signals and applies micro brake corrections the driver barely feels. Repeated over months of gravel road commuting and unpaved job site access roads, those micro corrections create localized heat concentrations on the rotor face. The sections receiving brake interventions run hotter. Pad material transfers unevenly to those hot sections and builds into high spots. That is the pedal pulsation you feel months later on the highway. The shop finds uneven rotor wear and a pattern of pad material transfer that looks like hard braking or brake drag, neither of which this owner did. New rotors and pads go on. StabiliTrak is still calibrated exactly the same. The owner goes back to the same gravel roads. The cycle repeats on the new rotors, on gravel and loose surfaces. Engage sport mode before you turn off the pavement or briefly press the traction control button to reduce sensitivity. StabiliTrak remains active for genuine stability events. The micro brake corrections that have been creating localized hotspots on your rotors stop. Your brakes wear the way they were designed to wear from slowing the truck, not from StabiliTrak interpreting gravel as an emergency 15 miles an hour on a dirt road. The next time the shop looks at your brakes, the wear pattern tells the correct story. Setting 1. EPS steering. Feel on normal, filtering out trailer sway before you can feel it. Owners of the previous generation, the GM T900 Silverado, had hydraulic power steering. It transmitted physical force from the road and from anything attached behind the truck directly up the steering column and into their hands. When a trailer started to sway at highway speed, the driver felt it as increasing resistance in the wheel, a pull, a tug, a physical signal that the trailer was pushing laterally before the movement was visible in the mirrors. That early feedback was the margin that made correction smooth. The K2 Silverado replaced that system with electric power steering. EPS generates steering feel through software. It can be tuned to feel exactly the way the engineers want it to feel. In normal mode on the K2, it is tuned for everyday comfort. Steering is light. The wheel turns easily. And the road feedback that the previous generation passed directly to the driver's hands is filtered and soft-tinned. For a daily commute, that filtering is pleasant. For towing a loaded trailer on the highway, that filtering removes the margin that made sway detectable early. In normal mode, the EPS software is actively smoothing the feedback coming through the column. The steering feels light and neutral, even as a trailer begins to push laterally. The signal the previous generation passed directly to your hands, the increasing resistance, the subtle pull indicating the trailer was beginning to move, is filtered before it reaches your palms. By the time most drivers feel the change through a normal mode EPS wheel, the trailer has already built lateral amplitude that requires more aggressive input to arrest than it would have needed 2 seconds earlier when the sway was just beginning. That 2-second window is the margin the hydraulic system gave you. Normal mode EPS removes it silently. The case documented by GM Authority showed a 2014 Sierra owner experiencing a violent fishtail. When trailer load and active systems interacted unexpectedly, the driver reported not feeling the instability building through the wheel before it became critical. Switch the steering to sport mode before you tow anything with meaningful weight. Sport mode increases steering weight and restores the feedback that normal mode filters. The wheel feels heavier at highway speed with a trailer behind you. That weight is not resistance to fight. It is the truck telling you what is happening behind it before your eyes see it in the mirror. 5 settings. All factory defaults on the 2014 through 2018 Silverado, none of them with a warning light. All of them with consequences that show up at the shop, on the road, or on the repair quote, never on the dashboard while they are happening. GM built the K2 to feel completely normal while all 5 of these are active. That is exactly the problem. Hit like and subscribe, drop your year and your mileage in the comments below, and let me know which of these 5 surprised you most. I will see you in the next one.